Good morning. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow you out there. Look, I just want to make sure before we move forward this morning to please understand we set this day apart as a prayer breakfast. A prayer breakfast is to understand that what the Lord has done for us individually and what the Lord has done for this city and for this county. So in that regards, this is a time of worship and to remember what God has done for us. That was a great job by the PHS Women Ensemble. They did a tremendous job singing. And for me, the lyrics that are involved with my pastor over there, they're very theologically correct, right, Minister? So as we move forward, I want to make sure that we recognize a special guest before I introduce our speaker. At this time, any federal delegation officials, if you would please stand to be recognized. Just keep, yeah, thank you. Any statewide or Rankin County state delegation officials, if you would, please stand. Thank you so much for being here. We will move on to our county elected officials. All of our county elected officials, would you please stand at this time? At this time, I'd like to recognize our aldermen. The aldermen that are in the room, would you please stand at this time? Thank you, gentlemen. Pearl Public School District school board members, if you're here, would you please stand? And by chance, any Park Place officials here, if you would please stand as well. Thank you. I want to add to one thing when we talk about recognition of special guests, people that have gone on and made this city better and this county better. If you have any former mayors or former elected officials, would you please stand? I understand, Mr. Rhodes, that you can't, you can wave. But any former mayors or other elected officials, county elected officials, would you please stand at this time? You know, I have the unique honor to bring our next guest up. I want to tell you the first time I knew John Perry as a kid because I was a kid. He graduated from Pearl in '89, I graduated in '97, but when you're a kid, you know who plays high school football. Seniors are more important and high school football players are more important. So I knew him even when I was a young man playing Pee Wee football under Mike Burks. I knew him. But 1993, I pull up to two-a-days and I see this guy that's jacked, baby-faced, blonde hair, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got somebody else to compete against on the offensive line this year. Somebody's moved in. But from that day on, he was my offensive line coach. We built a friendship. I got to say this because Kirby Ware in the back, he's a school board member. He and I played on the offensive line together beside John Perry, and he was just a tremendous coach to us, huge impact to us. In 1993, we're in 2025, and we still have this lasting relationship. So the relationship grew, and then I watched him become into this larger-than-life figure. And just because of the fact that I think from what I've seen and talking to him, not only did he have the talent in his life, but there were some situations in his life where the Lord came in and helped tremendously. And he saw the effects of that. And he said, I went from being a good coach to a better coach because of what the Lord has provided me in my life and understanding him more truly myself. So it's with great honor to bring Coach John Perry up and let him to speak it to us.
I know I hope there are not any bulldogs in the room. If you are, I'm going to apologize on the front end. Maybe one day. Better get the good Lord on your side. I'm gonna start my clock because Jake said that I had 2 hours, so I hope y'all are not planning on going to work today. I want to say, first of all, how proud I am of Jake. What an outstanding human. What a great job he has done for this city, for somebody that's known him for, so long. To see him do what he's doing is, I take great pride in that, because he was a good human 31 years ago, when, he bounced into the O-line room at Pearl High School, and he's just as great today. So I'm super grateful that he gave me the opportunity to be here today and to share with y'all, okay? This will be part Devo. He wanted me to share like my faith walk, which I am kind of, but it's going to be part Devo and part motivational speech, okay? So we're going to learn real quick how to do a 2-clap boom, okay? This is what a 2-clap boom is. When you think about that picture right there, that picture deserves a 2-clap boom. So when I say 2-clap, I need 2 claps and a boom. Y'all got that? You got to use the hand figure and you got to say boom loud. And we got to be good at this, because we own this and they don't, right? It is what it is. All right, so let's go 2 claps. Woo! I'm glad some of y'all didn't play for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could actually do a little better than that. Let's go 2 claps. Come on now, we got to bring the juice, right? All right, now, bear with me right here. Let's do this. I want you to take a ride with me. So if you would, let's play along, all right? Put your head down, close your eyes, and let's go for a ride. You're leaving your house, and you're headed to a funeral home. As you drive to the funeral home, you got some thoughts, rolling around that you would have when you go to the funeral home. As you walk in, you see the flowers, you hear the music playing, you notice the faces of friends and family. There's a palpable sense of reverence and reflection in the room. You walk to the front and you look inside the casket, and it's you lying there in the casket. This is your funeral. People are beginning to give eulogies. One person from each of the following areas is going to get up and speak on your behalf. You're going to have a family member. You're going to have a friend. You're going to have somebody that you worked with, and you're going to have somebody that you went to church with, okay? Now ask yourself, at that point in time, what do you want them to say about your life? What kind of character do you want to be remembered for when they stand up there? All right, open up. Somebody give me something, just, like what do you want a family member or a friend to say about you on that day? Anybody? He loved his family. Disciple of Christ. I think we could go around the room and all the answers would be very similar, okay? So what I want to share with you today is a thought I come across. I read a book called The Second Mountain by David Brooks. And the second mountain's analogy is this. We're always climbing something. We're climbing a mountain every single day. What is the mountain that we climb, right? Like one of these mountains, at the top of it sits pride, right? Pride, like possessions, material things, state championships, rings, money, cars, houses, right? Lots of people climbing that mountain. World's full of them. That second mountain is one with purpose. It's knowing what your purpose is in life. It's truly serving other people. It's giving back to your community, to your friends, to your family. It's love, right? 2 different mountains. And I would ask, like, if I was to ask you, and, what was the first sin that happened? What was the very first sin? We what? We wanted to be our own God. It was Lucifer, right? Lucifer was an angel that was a great angel. He was one of the best ones. But his problem was his pride. He wanted to be God. He wanted to do God things, right? So Lucifer had to be kicked to the curb and turned into Satan, right? And he's an honorable adversary because he's out there selling all this first mountain stuff, right? And it's a choice that we make every single day. What are we going to climb? I'm one that, man, I've climbed both of them. I climbed that first one for a long time. Man, I spent a lot of time thinking about how many games can we win, how great can we be. Like, I've had high school players that I've had to go back and apologize to because I wasn't that good to them. I really wasn't. It was about winning, and if they wasn't doing what, we needed to do for us to win, or it was me to win, then, I had a problem with it. But for us to know which mountain to climb, normally there's got to be something happen, right? Like, how do you know what light is? You've got dark. How do you know what cold is? You've got hot. How do you know what good is? You got bad, right? So at some point in time, things happen. The one thing that we all have in common is this: we have all been through hard things, right? There are people in this room right now going through hard things. And the one truth is we're all going to go through hard things in the future. Life is hard. That's a fact, right? That's part of it. Well, when life got hard, and I don't know when I decided that second mountain was a little better, but what I do know is this: is about 2014, we were getting ready to have a fantastic season. You may remember Jordan Wright was the running back. We were preseason top 10. Like, we were really good. And, man, I am excited, and it's football. My wife is raising the kids while I'm coaching football, and that's just the way it is, and it's awesome. But on Thursday before fall camp starts, we always have a team meeting. And on that Thursday, she calls and she says, Haley had a seizure. Haley was a junior in high school, and she was at her school helping register or whatever, and she had a seizure. Our daughter was perfectly healthy. There was no issue, so kind of freaked us out. First time I ever skipped a team meeting. Went to the hospital. Well, that day, and some of you have lived this because you were a part of it, that day she started having seizures every day of her life. Multiple seizures every day of her life. 3, 4, 5. Life completely changed. Life was miserable. Like, it was awful. Like, I would go to school every day. Like, we had to drop her bed to the floor. We had to stand in there, while she showered, in case she had one while she showered. Like, life went from really, really good, we thought, to really, really bad, And it just was a challenge. I would go to school every day and think, man, what time's the phone going to ring? Just miserable. Because the phone would ring about 9 o'clock, 9:30 every day. She had a seizure. She's in second period. They'd take her, by a wheelchair to the office. I'd go pick her up. I'd take her home. We had family move in with us. Like, life was bad. We're taking her all over. Stephanie's taking her, to Dallas, and we're trying to figure out what's wrong. And, man, like, we've turned on each other, as people do when hard things happen, right? Like, life was miserable. This went on for months, and it got to where in the football season, I started figuring out at the end of the ball game, I would ask her, because I would kind of unconnect from the cell phone, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever. And when the game was over, I'd be like, did she have a seizure today? We were just looking for one day. We wanted 1 day seizure-free. Like, the game didn't really matter. For the first time in my life, that wasn't the most important thing, in my life. And it had been, just honestly. I mean, I was 100%, and I grew up with a dad that was a preacher. Should I have known better? Sure, right? I should have. But, man, I wanted to be the best football coach that I could be, and whatever that took is what it took, right? It is what it is. But it started to change. And I'll tell you this, man, one night we laid down in bed, I'm talking about broken. And I don't know why, but we decided that we're going to hold hands, we're going to say a prayer, and we're going to let God have it. So we can't fix it. We're doing everything. We're doing everything. Now, I would like to tell you that woke up the next day and she never had another seizure. That would be a great story, right? But that is not what happened. They continue to go on. But I'm going to tell you what we did that night for the first time was we slept. We slept through the night because for whatever reason, it had gotten so bad that, man, we had to do something different because we couldn't do it, right? So we turned it over, and, as God works, in our lives, as it worked out, they started decreasing. She started not having them as much, and then it ended up, not having them at all, okay? But that was my valley season. Football, all of a sudden, not the top priority. Like, life started to change, because I couldn't fix it. You think you can control things, right? Like, and that was, I think, where it started. And I think there's 3 ways, that you can check yourself as to what mountain you're actually climbing today. Number 1 is knowing, what's your North Star? Like, what is actually guiding your life? Is it Jesus Christ or is it something else? Plain and simple. You know, if Jesus Christ is your North Star, then you're going to be able to overcome anything that happens to you. There are, awesome verses in the Bible. One that I love, Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for good for those who love him. Right? Even in the bad times. Even in the bad times, I loved him. I may not have been acting like it, but I did. And it says all things are going to work for good. It don't mean it's going to happen right now, okay? But number one, what's your North Star? Man, having a faith in Jesus Christ will keep you on the correct mountain. If that's not first, it's going to be really hard, right? Because we live in a world of comparison, right? We live in a world of social media. Ain't nobody taking shots on social media when they're crying, right? When they're in the valley. All you see on social media is the highlights, right? Like, we compare our front stage life to everybody's backstage, our backstage life to the front stage life, right? Like it is what it is. We got to know, what are we climbing for, right? And that's keeping that faith first and foremost. The second thing you can do, hang out with the right people. Nothing's more important than the people you hang out with. If your mountain's full of people, if you're climbing your mountain and your mountain's full of people that are putting other things before the good Lord, you're going to be just like them, right? Y'all know that. Who you associate with is strong. This is my association story because I think God does work all things for good, right? It's 2000. I grew up in Pearl. I love Pearl. Like, this is an awesome place, right? I grew up in Cunningham Heights. I got my first kiss up in the sand pits up there behind the neighborhood. It was fantastic, right? We used to could stay out all night. Our parents didn't care. Like, it was awesome, right? I got on signing day. I signed with Hines Community College on signing day. Mr. Yates, God bless his soul, right down in this class, right down here in this hallway right there, he tore my butt up one day because on signing day, I said a cuss word in class, right? And just so happened Mr. Yates went to church with us. So he says, okay, John, I can handle this here or I can call your dad. I'm like, man, let's handle this here. You know what I'm saying? Like, because had he told my dad, back in them days, you would have got it twice. We don't have that issue no more, right? Like now it would have been the principal's fault, right? Like, we done got soft, right? I hit a couple home runs right over here, right? Like, I love Pearl. I think this is the greatest place in the world. I moved here in 1978. I was in the third grade. All right, I left twice. One time was my choice, one time was not my choice. All right, so I'm going to talk about the one that wasn't my choice. It's year 2000. I got 6 years in, as a Bruce Merchant hired me, my high school coach, and I'm thinking I'm a rock star. I'm 28 years old, man, and life is great. I'm first mountain. I'm climbing. I'm making $24,000 a year, the most money that I've ever seen in my life. My wife was making 19. You add that together, and like we could go out to eat at Shoney's. Like it was big time. Well, I go in, we lose Marcus Boyles, right? The second greatest high school football coach in the state of Mississippi. We lose Marcus, not a big fan of Pearl. And they hire Larry Weems, right? So I go in to interview with Larry Weems. I have no intentions of leaving Pearl ever, zero. So I go in to interview, and Larry promptly fires me. Like, Coach, I don't need you. Now, I don't really know what his problem was. Maybe he can't see talent. Maybe he's blind. Like, I don't know what his deal is, okay? But he fired me. So I leave that day, got a 2-year-old at the house. I'm a Pearl boy, and I'm devastated. I'm not driven by the North Star of Jesus Christ. Like, I go home and have to tell her that we got to move and we got to go, like I don't have a job. And man, it's brutal. Like, it's another valley season, right? But what I have since learned, and I think everybody in here can relate with this, God works all things for good. What I didn't know is this, that because I got fired, I got introduced to Bobby Hall. I went and took a job at Wayne County, right? If Marcus Boyles is the second greatest coach in this state, that's the greatest coach this state has ever seen. Won 350 games. What God said was, man, I got something bigger for you down the road. Why don't you go hang out with that dude for a little while and actually learn how to be pretty good, right? Like, what a blessing. I should have, hindsight, when something bad's going on in your life, what you ought to do is look up, click your heels like Dorothy, right? And get on about your business because God's got something else in store for you, right? Like, that was a miserable time in my life for probably 3 months. I'm talking about miserable. But looking back on it, I'm not standing here today without that dude right there. I'm not here. I promise you. Like, it changed everything about my life, right? Who knew that? God knew that. He knew it the whole time. I just didn't know it, you know? Now, I went to a funeral Friday. One of my coaches' mom passed away. And the preacher left us with 3 certainties. I thought this was really good. Number 1, life is hard. It just is. There ain't nowhere in that Bible it says it's supposed to be easy and it's going to be easy, okay? Number 2, God is good. God is merciful. What does that mean? That means if you love him, he's going to work it for good for you at some point in time. He ain't on your time scale. He ain't on my time frame. He's on his time frame. God is merciful. And number 3, heaven is real. Heaven is real and heaven is beautiful. How beautiful is it? It says it's more beautiful than you can ever imagine. Take whatever you think it's going to be and multiply it times 100. That's how beautiful it's going to be, right? So when we are in valley season, understand, man, like, dude, there's a blessing coming. If I get fired from Nixa tomorrow, as the good Lord is my witness, I'm going to look up, thank the good Lord, man, that was a great 5 years. Where are we going next? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that's the way life is. Now, go back to what's got to be first, right? Your faith's got to be first. It's got to be the reason why you climb the mountain. You know, like, and I have found this to be totally true. The second mountain, so much better than the first mountain. Oh my God. Like, life is totally changed. You know, like in our program, we never talk about winning and losing, ever. We talk about how to be a great human being. How can we be a great human? How can we serve other people? How can we make a difference? I'm here today for one reason, and that's to serve him, because he served me 31 years ago. That's it. I ain't getting nothing out of this. I didn't even get a biscuit, right, because I was nervous. If there is a biscuit at the end, I'm going to take it, though. But if you know anything about my parents, we got in last night at about 10 o'clock, so we went in there and had a buffet spread at my house. It was pretty good. Number 1, faith. You know what your North Star is. Number 2, man, hang out with people that will help you get where you're going. And if they're not, look, get rid of them. There are people in this life, in your life, that are supposed to be 2-minute people. There's 2-minute people. There's 2-hour people. There's 2-day people. There's 2-month people. Like, some people ain't meant to be hung out with forever, right? Like, you may have family members that drain you. Hey, give them 2 minutes. Peace out, right? That's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some of them in my life. I got some 2-hour family members. I can hang out for 2 hours, and that's it. That's my max. And I got to go. Or I start thinking about some bad things. You know what I'm saying? Like, that second mountain, man, who you hang out with is important. Number 3, what are you putting in? What are you putting in your head on a daily basis, right? If your associations influence you as much as anything in this world, what you put in your mind, man, game changer, right? If you squeeze an orange, what do you get? Orange juice. If you put junk in, guess what's going to come out? Junk. If you want to be a junk person, turn on the news. Watch the news every day. You will become a sick individual, because they're going to tell you how pitiful life is, how bad things are. I have not watched a news channel in, 10 years. Like, she has to tell me who the president is. Like, and I know there's some politicians in here, and I love y'all, right? Like, but I don't care. I don't. I'm going to wake up in the morning time at 4:30, and I'm going to go to putting good stuff in my head. I am not going to turn on the news, because I've watched the news station change people. You want to be negative? Watch it. Watch it. You can live it, right? Why would you do that? You know, start your morning off with something great. Put great stuff in. If you put great stuff in, great stuff going to come out. I'm still working on that with my wife, okay? Are you keeping up? She probably didn't do her homework, okay? But I'll come in some days, a lot of days, I'll come in from work, and when I walk in, she's watching Days of Our Lives, okay? Now, I'm not saying you're going to hell if you watch Days of Our Lives, but it is straight garbage. So I walk in, I'm not being ugly, I just say garbage in, garbage out. We turned it to something else, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay, right? We're still working on her. She does get some good stuff in there, though. We'll listen to podcasts. Like, okay, if you drive, if you go anywhere that's more than 15 minutes, listen to something great, right? Just put a podcast on. Put a book on. I feel like I have 10 degrees from Automobile University, right? Like, my kids grow up hating life because, man, we just don't listen to music that much, right? Like, music's great, and it may serve a purpose from time to time, but, man, put good stuff in. The more great stuff you put in, the more great stuff is going to come out. You know, like I decided, I don't know, maybe 18 years ago, somewhere around there. I can't nail it down. That I was going to wake up every single morning of my life at 5 a.m. and I was going to start reading. So, like, my morning routine's set. Like, I wake up at 4:30, I grab 3 books. And for me, this is what I have to do. This is what I found out. Because some of you know, we had another Valley season about 2 years ago. Same daughter. Valley season. Rough. I'm talking about it was bad. But you know what we were able to do? We were able to understand that God's going to work this out. Like, God's going to figure this crap out for us. You know, like, all we're going to do is love her. We're going to love her every day, right? And God's going to figure this out. And how does God work? Man, we're great today. Like, man, we are absolutely, she's living her best life. Like, God is good. It just sometimes takes some tough things, you know, to go through to get to that point, because life's not easy, right? Put good stuff in. The better stuff you put in, the better that you're going to be as a human being. All right, my last thought. Faith, know what your North Star is. Hang out with good people and put good stuff in. Matthew 16:26. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Go back to the way we started, right? Like, I read a book. It's called Life is a Gift by Bob and Judy Fisher. They interviewed 100 hospice patients that are within a month of death, and they asked them all 100 questions, same questions. And you know, when they asked them their biggest regret, none of them, not one, revolved around their job. Not one revolved around money. Not one revolved around, you know, like, what was the answer? What'd you say? It's family. I regret not spending more time with my family. I regret not having more experiences with my friends and the people that I love, right? Like, you got to be over there intentionally trying to climb that second mountain to know, you know, what's important in your life, right? That first mountain is great. Now, I'm not saying money's bad. I'm not saying possessions are bad. You know, like, money makes you more of who you already are. If you're a second mountain guy, and the money comes, guess what you're going to do? You're going to use it for good. You're going to help more people. That's awesome, right? If it's led by Jesus Christ, you're going to help more people. If it's led by your personal desire to have more, do more, be more, for a status, for your name, for some like you're going to get or something, you know, like, you're not. And look, none of you are going to take your money with you. It ain't going with you. I ain't never walked up to a casket and seen a bunch of hundreds, right? Now, I don't know about you. I don't plan to leave my kids none either. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to get their own money. You know what I'm saying? That leaving your family money stuff, I don't know about that. I think that'd ruin my kids, right? They struggle enough as it is. But, hey, I want to say thank you to everybody that came. And there's a lot of people in this room that are absolutely awesome. A lot of people that I coached, a lot of people that I coached with. I'm truly honored to be a Pearl Pirate. I'm truly honored that, you know, Jake allowed me to come down here and, you know, share that with you. What I would beg you to do is this: as you close your day today, man, reflect on, what are you climbing? Like, which hill are you on, right? And if you're on the wrong hill, hey, it's a choice, man. Get on the right hill tomorrow, right? Serve somebody, right? We live in a world of, you know, what do people think of me? We're always worried about what other people think. You know how to get rid of that? Serve somebody else. You can't do two things at one time. You can't worry about what somebody's thinking about you if you're trying to be a blessing to them. And it don't matter to me if you're in the local Kroger, right? If you're in the local Kroger and you're checking out, you know, and the lady just so happens to have blue hair, right? Come through that line and tell her, man, that blue hair is the most wonderful, beautiful hair I've ever seen in my life. You have no idea the influence you can have on other people. Be positive. Be an influence, right? Serve other people, and it'll make life a lot better for all of us. I promise you that. Thank you very much. It's an honor. I'm glad to be here.
We can learn from Coach Perry's speech as we move forward today. And speaking of serving, we're going to move right into the next portion. I'm not going to keep everybody too much longer, but these are some important things that I think that need to be dedicated for people that have served our city in the past. And give me 1 second here. And for the people that are being recognized today. Some will be shocked, or I just want you to understand. I'm going to read proclamations. I have 3 proclamations today to individuals. 2 are not with us. 1 is with us, that served this city and did a tremendous amount of work for our citizens and came along before us to have things that what we have today. I'm going to start out, just happened to be a friend of mine. He was my 8th grade math teacher. I'm going to get Mr. Alexander Lee to come up and stand with me. If you don't know Mr. Lee, then I don't know how long you've really been in Rankin County, because this fella's been around for a while. I just want to make sure I have this remark. I was the 8th grade class where you had to put the video camera on because we were bad, but I wasn't doing it, okay?
That's right, that's right.
So I want you to hear this. It's whereas Alexander Lee is a distinguished member of our community and dedicated to the advancement of local education, and he has dedicated years of service to the community, particularly in softball and the fostering of athletic excellence. And whereas his unwavering commitment to the sport and the values it embodies has inspired countless young people to pursue their dreams, and whereas the City of Pearl wishes to recognize and honor Alexander Lee's significant contributions by formally renaming a ball field in his honor, and therefore be it proclaimed that the Field 1 located at 320 Center City Drive, Pearl, Mississippi, shall henceforth be known as the Alexander Lee Field. You'd like to say something?
Let me have a second. When I graduated, looked for a job, I did my practice teaching in Pearl, and then happened to find a job at the junior high. In '73, graduated, went back and got my master's, came back in '75, and never left. I thank Pearl for allowing me to adopt you as my family. And I appreciate all the young people that I've taught and all the parents who allowed me to teach your children. Thank you.
We'll proceed with the next proclamation. Again, another person that has passed a while ago, but had a tremendous impact not only as for our Parks and Rec, but also as a supervisor. I'll read a proclamation. Whereas the City of Pearl, Mississippi is proud to recognize the outstanding contributions of Charles S. Hudson to our community, particularly his dedication to sports and recreation. Whereas he was a valued employee of the City of Pearl and his commitment to the excellence was evident in his work, and as whereas he was instrumental in improving the local sports facility within the city, and his unwavering passion made a lasting impact, and whereas the legacy of his dedication, service, and expertise will continue to inspire future generations within our community. Therefore, be it resolved that the sports complex located at 320 Center City Drive, Pearl, Mississippi, be formally renamed the Charles S. Hudson Sports Complex in honor of his memory and contributions. Chuck, would you please come up at this time? So just for clarification, we do have a proclamation for you here, Chuck, but as long as the Lord tarries, that plaque right here is going to be a Center City Complex in honor of your father.
We lost my dad and my mom 2 weeks apart in 2023, Christmas. I grew up in Pearl. I love Pearl. Played football, played ball over here. Moved away because of the military, and we've tried to come back. But every day of my childhood, I remember going to the park My dad was a Parks and Recreation Director and Community Development. He was a good man. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. He's smiling down on us today, grateful for the city of Pearl and proud that he had an impact on it. So thank you very much.
We have the last one at this time. If I could have Carolyn Slade, could you come forward, please? For everyone here, this is the wife of the late Bill Slade. And I might get in trouble about this one because I nudged just a little bit, okay? So whereas William E. Slade was a dedicated and respected public servant, serving as the chief of police for the city of Pearl from 1990 to 2008. And whereas he took an oath when he was hired to preserve, protect, defend the Constitution, and oath he never broke and kept faith with the public he so honorably served. And whereas he was known for his leadership, commitment to the community, and unwavering dedication to the safety and well-being of all residents, and whereas his contributions to the city of Pearl have been immeasurable, and his legacy will continue to inspire future generations of law enforcement officers, and whereas it is the desire of the city of Pearl to honor the life and services of William E. Slade by renaming the Pearl Police Department, located at 2561 Old Brandon Road, Pearl, Mississippi, and therefore be it proclaimed that the Pearl Police Department is hereby officially renamed, W.E. Slade Public Safety Complex. So, all great people that we're dedicating this day to. Bill Slade hired me in 2003. Alexander Lee was my teacher, and then I had the opportunity, this is the funny, Mr. Hudson got me a job with the county patching potholes in the summertime. However, it was more money I ever made my whole entire life, but it was hot, and it got me ready for Coach Perry when I went to two-a-days. All tremendous men that have made such a great impact. And talking about tremendous men, each year at this prayer breakfast, we always honor somebody that exemplifies the love for Pearl and the dedication for Pearl, and just really known as a true Pearl pirate. So it's with a great honor this year that our Ray Rogers recipient is none other than Coach John Perry.
I've already said enough. Thank you.
All right. So at this time, after these recognitions, we will have my pastor, Joey McLeod, come up and give a benediction, and Kathy Deere will provide the closing remarks. I do want to make sure that the families come up so we can take a lot of photos and make much of what we've done today and to honor them. And Kathy will have closing remarks. So, Pastor, I'll turn it over to you at this time. Thank you.
I'm going to ask if you are able to please stand. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and grant you peace. Amen.
Be seated for just a moment. I'll be very quick. If you don't have a Pearl Chamber Newcomer Guide, they're located in the back in the foyer. We also have the new Hometown magazines back there. They feature on the front one of our ambassadors, Maddie from Boudreaux's Boutique. So pick up one of these as you go by. They're in the foyer. If you would like to get a picture, come up front. We're going to move these tables back so that the photographers can take lots of pictures. So don't forget that. Don't run off. We'd like to thank our sponsors. You've got a full list there in your program of all the sponsors that have honored the mayor today with monetary donations, with food, with drinks, with everything that you've seen. One of them is Sam's Club. Sam's Club, where's Josh? Sam's Club is responsible for these beautiful yellow roses, and if you would like to take one with you, you can. If you have a star on the back of your program, you're welcome to take that home with you. So thank you all for coming. God bless you and have a great weekend.